I built resilience in the back of a rusted out red 15-passenger van. And what happened in the back of that van changed the entire trajectory of my life forever. If you give me a few minutes, I would like to share a story with you from my keynote speech, Decisions to Discipline. But first, I got a question. Did your zip code ever try to write your story for you? Because mine did. I grew up in Orlando, Florida, and no, it wasn't just Disney World and the many other theme parks you may know about. Orange Center was a place that you definitely wouldn't want in any brochure. Single parent household, the men in my life were in and out of prison for participating in illegal activities. I'll just say that. Every day, my environment was revealing what the ceiling was for me. But the only thing about being conditioned by your environment is that you have to decide to allow it. Your reality is the sum of your thoughts. Make sure you speak life into it. You have to be rebellious against being conditioned to operate like the herd. I was fortunate enough to obtain a bachelor's degree in both fine arts and mathematics, as well as a master's degree in business administration. And for nearly 2 decades, I worked for a Fortune 500 company where I was able to develop my leadership principles, develop high level communication skills, sales and negotiation tactics, among many other high value skills. I've since branched out and built businesses on my own, and I'm actively an entrepreneur. As you're seeing this, if you come across any of my videos, I pray that they have helped you in some capacity. The information I share are breadcrumbs that I was hungry for 20 years ago as a young Black man. And now, as I actively work to get in alignment with the purpose that God has for my life, I hope it blesses you. Back to the van. I was 12 years old, maybe 13, and Pedro, who was the operator and part owner of a small organization called Teens Against Drugs and Alcohol, they would drop us off in various suburbs, and we were tasked with selling out of these goods, these either candies, chocolate turtles, teas from probably China or some country. I'd never seen them before. They handed me this container full of candy, and they said, try to sell out in 2 hours, door to door. I'd never done sales in my life at the time. Door after door, I heard no. They would slam the door in my face. They would say no solicitation, and I didn't even know what that meant. But then something shifted. I was given a script that I didn't take the time to try to memorize. So I noticed that the people were slamming the door in my face as I struggled and stumbled over words to try to read through the entire script. Some people were generous enough to allow me to complete the entire script, and then I just heard no anyway. So as people continued to cautiously open the door, I experimented with different approaches. I got unbothered. I learned right there to detach from the outcome because one no is just math. Your mind gets callous just like your hands, and it is always a numbers game. Repetition matched with refinement leads to mastery. Your zip code doesn't decide. The closed doors don't decide. You decide. You have to be mindful of what you adapt to. Adaptation ignored will leave you broke and stagnant. And what I mean by that is if you continue to adapt to bad situations, bad work environments, bad relationships, bad circumstances, you learn to tolerate stagnation, you learn to tolerate lack of development. Be intentional about what you adapt to.